So give us a sense of, with these new colleagues, what do you want to try to get accomplished in the new Congress?
I think Alyssa Slotkin says it like it is, and we've got to get the nation's work done. Look, we've had the last 2 years coming off a very, very tough Republican campaign cycle with Donald Trump promising that he was going to take care of health care, promising he'd have $1 trillion transportation package, and then coming in here and actually making health care worse and passing no infrastructure package. So I think Alyssa nailed it. We've got to get a robust $1 trillion infrastructure package passed. I think we can do that, and I think we can do it in bipartisan fashion and send something to the president that he will sign. And number two, people all over this country tell us as Democrats, or tell anybody who's representing them in Congress, that the cost of health care is out of control. They're concerned about their family having a dad with cancer, a mom who had a heart attack, and what's going to happen to people with pre-existing conditions. So I think we can get those two things done, but we also have to clean up this mess in Washington, D.C. I'm standing in this beautiful building, the U.S. Capitol, but outside it is an absolute mess. We have self-dealing going on. We have the money in politics that is out of control. Not too far before the end of the election, Paul Ryan got a $25 million check, and nobody other than Paul Ryan and his cronies even know where it came from. We've got to get that fixed. So, look, we are going to have a record number of women. We have the most diverse caucus in the history of our nation. And I think these folks are going to want to get something done, and I'm here to work with them.
And you've put up your hand to volunteer to be the new head of the DCCC, as it's called, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. As you look forward to what needs to be done, what's your secret sauce? Because I mentioned you won in what has been thought of as a Republican district, and I must say every election you've won by a larger margin, even though President Trump won by a large margin. So what do you do that a lot of the Democrats don't do?
Well, just for a little bit of context on this, I won by 24 points in Tuesday's election. That's the largest margin of any Democrat who is serving or will serve in Congress from a Trump district. And we're going to have at minimum 30 members of the Democratic caucus from Trump districts. So we've got to figure out how we're going to get this right. What do? It is not anything overly scientific. I'm a former reporter. As you know, David, if you are a reporter, you ask questions. You listen for the answers, and then you take that information and do something with it. As that pertains to politics, I do supermarket Saturdays pretty much every weekend, where I just walk the aisles and I ask what's on people's minds. I just say, I'm Cheri Bustos. I serve this district in Congress, and I'm going to be flying back out to Washington on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it is. And what do you want me to focus on? And you get a lot of you can draw a lot from those conversations, and I know then, based on that my priorities are health care, it is infrastructure, it is cleaning up the mess in Washington. So I know that firsthand from all these conversations. I also do something that we call Cheri on shift. Obviously, if somebody's name is not Cheri, they would have to call it Joe on the job, or whatever their names are. But so I've done about 75 of these. And I stand shoulder to shoulder with people who work hard to support their families. I've been a welder. I've been a car repair woman. I have processed fish out of the Mississippi River. I've been a grocery store sacker. But and while I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with these folks, I'm asking them about what's on their minds. Have they been able to take a vacation in the last year? Do they have health insurance? And you realize that in a district like mine, where the average family of four makes about $48,000, that people are still, they want to see us do something that makes a difference in their lives. And that's what I see as my number one mission, is to make sure I am making a difference out here, whether I've been in the minority party or soon will be in the majority party.
One way to make a difference is in leadership. Let's talk about the leadership in the new Congress of the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi, not every Democrat supported her. Do you support her? And for that matter, would you be open to that job? Because as I understand, your hometown newspaper has put your name in the ring.
Yeah, and keep in mind that I had nothing to do with my hometown paper putting my name in the ring. That's something that they did on their own. Look, I'm running for the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. That actually is a competitive race. There's 4 people running for that altogether. I hope to earn the support of my colleagues. That would be running the entire political operation of the Democrats in the House. So that's a tough job, and we just came off of a very decisive victory and a message to the American public that, hey, they're willing to put their faith back in us to govern again. So I hope to be successful in that. As far as the other leadership roles, there's a lot that's up in the air right now. I just want to make sure that we have the most effective leadership team that we can possibly have. And I say team because you've got to look at the whole equation here. We don't just have a speaker, but we also have a leader and a whip and a caucus chair and the chairman of the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Can I mention two other parts of that team? Ma'am,
it's yours. It's your microphone. Absolutely.
Well, look, I want to make sure that the center part of our country is represented. Right now, I have a lower level leadership position. I'm the only Midwesterner sitting on the leadership team currently. Right now, I'm the only Midwesterner running for a senior leadership position in our caucus. When we look at the diversity of our leadership team, I want that diversity to include not just racial and ethnic and occupational and generational, but I want it to also be geographical. Look, the middle part of our country did a very good job of delivering this majority. Women did a very good job of delivering this majority. Right. So I want to be part of the leadership team, not just based on my geography or my gender, but because I have something to bring to the table and I know how to win in tough districts. I know how to hold on to tough districts. And for anybody to win by 24 points in the Trump district, you know, I think I can offer something to the caucus.